everyone. So we are live again for yet another author live chat with fans. Tuesday series, your next page turner. Today, 28th December 2021, 8 p.m. CST. We are live again on Facebook page, which is on International Book Promotion Facebook page. And today we're going to talk about an interesting book, and also we have um, readers joining us as well with the author. So, Make Me Exist. This book has actually hit the best-selling list on Amazon, and Brittany Ziegler is going to be joining us to talk about her book together with her reader who has actually read the book. Bettina is also going to be with us. So we will be sharing the insights of the book and how she felt reading the book, and also Brittany's journey writing the book, and how she feels hitting the best-selling list on Amazon. So here's a little bit about the author. Brittany Ziegler was born in California and currently resides on the beautiful island of Maui in Hawaii. She studied marine sciences and biology at the University of Hawaii, as well as dabbled in creative writing and photography. She is married to the most patient man in the world and spends her days herding her two daughters on sunny beaches, kayaking with humpback whales, photographing sharks, and writing about impossible circumstances. Make Me Exist is her first fiction novel. So, without further ado, let's welcome author Whitney Ziegler and also Bettina to the show. Hello,
Hi.
hello, Brittany. Hello, Bettina.
Aloha.
Hello to the two of you. Thank you for joining today, and it's a great pleasure to have you here, Brittany, and especially, since your book has actually hit the best-selling list on Amazon, right? So, I have actually briefly introduced you to the audience, but I think it would be great to hear a little bit more about yourself. Maybe you can explain a little bit more to the audience.
Yeah, I guess depending on what you want to know. I'm Brittany. I'm a mom of two daughters. I'm married to my husband, Lance. We live in Maui, Hawaii. Um, I actually just started writing, so Make Me Exist is my first full length novel. Before that, I did a lot of poetry and short stories and stuff like that. So I'm on my the third book to this series, and my fourth book gets published this Thursday. But the initial novel, Make Me Exist, to the series that you have to read before you read the other ones, was my first novel
Mm-hmm.
that I started right around when COVID hit. So when we all got locked up in our houses, I started writing books.
Awesome, right? So I think it must have been a surprise to see your book hitting the best-selling list. So tell us about your writing journey, and how has it been, like in terms of coming the ideation, writing process, and also the publishing journey so far for you.
Yeah, I'm actually self published. So that was a personal choice. Mostly, I've decided not to look for any publishers to hold on
Mm-hmm.
to my characters. I'm really attached to them. So it's been really fun. I've actually been on Amazon's bestseller list internationally a few times, but
Mm-hmm.
this week was my
Mm-hmm.
first time hitting the top 100 books in America. So that was really exciting.
Mm-hmm.
And it's an interesting genre to be advertising. Um, I know it's sci-fi romance. It has a lot of fantasy elements to it. It's not the kind of sci-fi romance you would see, I guess, in the Amazon Kindle stores. So I get a lot of interesting and mixed reviews. A lot of people will start reading it thinking it's fantasy, and it's definitely a little more gory I think, than like what some fantasy would be, but it's too fantastical, I think, to just be in a sci-fi genre. And then there is romance in it, but it's not very overpowered in the novel itself. So it's been interesting finding the appropriate reader group, I guess, to
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
show the books to. It's usually got really great reviews, and it gets really, really well received. And I've had a few awesome people, like fans, find me on Facebook, and we're good friends now. And I've had random people know who I am, or they'll say like, "My mom's read your books," and that's really cool. But it is a very different genre all unto itself. So
Mm-hmm.
it's,
Right.
it does
So,
get some negative reviews.
Bettina, hello to you. Thank you for joining us today to talk a little bit more about Brittany's book. So, where are you from, and how did you get to know Brittany?
Well, I'm originally from Colorado, but I live here in Maui now. And Brittany and I actually worked together a long time ago and became really good friends. She's like one of my best friends, so I go kayaking with her and scuba diving. So it's been really cool just to like um,
Mm-hmm.
watch her journey in this because I don't know, she was like, I'm gonna write a book. I was like, okay, and and then 4 books later, every time she like gives me a copy, I'm just like, yes, and I can't put it out for the next like 2 days. So yeah,
Ah,
but
right.
because
Awesome. Right. So, Brittany, this is your fourth book, right? You told us that this is you've written four books so far, but Make Me Exist is the first book, right? So how long has it been since you're writing, and now you're writing a fourth book? Um, how long has it been so far?
um, I started in 2020, March of 2020. I got the books. So I
Wow.
wrote Make Me Exist. Let me get that. This guy. In March of
Mhm.
2020. I had it published by October of 2020. And then since then, I just finished the fourth book in this series. So lots of books in like less than 2 years. And then I don't have the fourth book yet, but it's been super fun. And then Bettina always gets like the raw copies from me, so she can read through them and kind of help me do some editing or just tell me if I messed everything up. Who knows? There's a lot of thought.
How do you find how do you find time to write? We know that since ever since COVID, and a lot of people have spare time to explore new things, and I think some of us chose to write books, right? So, however, I think four books in the span of like probably 1.5 years, or probably close to 2 years, is still something that is, I think you must have actually planned your time really well. So, how has it been so far for you?
Good. I mean, I don't sleep ever. So, like, true story. Or Bettina comes over for coffee, and I mean, everyone can always find me on my couch with my laptop in my lap. And I have like just the most
Ah,
supportive family and friends. I mean, everyone's so great when I get in a crunch and like need to get these novels done. And everyone will come over and help out or keep me company and give me space. Because I mean, if I'm not writing, we're out diving or kayaking or. I mean, I have a 5-year-old and a 7-year-old and my husband. Um,
mhm.
so it's just really busy. I'm pretty sure I just don't sleep for a while at a time. I mean, I
Mhm.
have the stories in my head and I really like writing. So that part's, I think, easy to get out. And I have a really amazing editor, a couple of really great editors who I mean, take care of like the hard stuff, I guess. For me, the writing's definitely the easy part. And then when it comes to grammar and rereading everything over and over again, I have other people that kind of handle that for me.
Mhm. So, Bettina, I think you've been like, with Britney's journey all the while, and I think you know best probably about her writing journey, and you've read her books. What do you think about the first book? And really, could you tell us a little bit more about your reading experience from the perspective of a reader? And I think since you mentioned that Bettina gets the raw version of your book, and I think she would have seen like what is it like for you to to see the raw version of the book as compared to the final version, probably after her edits, after she has refined her work and things like that. So could you like tell us a little bit about that?
It's really cool just to kind of, I don't know, because like you get like this unedited version and it's awesome, and then we talk about it a little bit and kind of um, I ask questions or I'm just like, well, that part doesn't make sense or whatever, and then she'll just be like, it'll make sense
Mm-hmm.
later, or she'll be like, actually, yeah, whatever, so it's really, it's just cool to be a part of. And honestly, like, she'll give me the raw version I and then I get like the edited version, and
Mm-hmm.
it's still pretty much the same, but like just that much better. And I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I read the edited version too, so um, yeah, it's really
Mm-hmm.
cool. Like you just get very involved with all the characters, and um, I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
you always
So
have
how
what
how is it?
you really like.
So how's it been like? I believe you've read all four of the books now. Since she has like all four of it out right now. Um, in terms of character development and things like that. Do you actually give some kind of like suggestions or probably ideas or what you would like to see in the books? Or is it that you just sit back and wait for the stories to just come from her and enjoy it?
I just kind of go along for the ride, like it's
Uh-huh.
really it's like it's really interesting to me. It's like kind of being in somebody else's imagination. It's maybe not what I would have imagined, but then like somebody else has a different idea that's just so much better. And it's just
Mhm.
fun. And like I said, like she's one of my best friends, so I really
Mhm.
I really love
Mhm.
just
Mhm.
seeing everything that she's capable of. And I so when we first met, like Facebook was still like kind of newer, not new,
Mhm.
but when we first met, I wouldn't be friends with anybody from work on Facebook.
Mhm.
Want to like mix that,
Mhm.
but with Brittany, I actually made the exception because she would like put some of her writing stuff on there, and so I was just like, oh, I want to see that.
Mhm.
So like she was like one of my first people that I was like, okay, fine, like I know you from work, but I'll still be social media friends with you.
Uh-huh.
And
Oh yeah, I used to write all
Right.
those weird short stories.
but it was awesome. It's just really cool to
Ah.
get all to now like 4 huge books.
Good.
So yeah,
No, Bettina's
and
been
I
really
think
great with the writing.
mhm, mhm. And I think so far, are you also? I mean, Bettina, are you also a reader? I mean, in general, do you read other romance books, or is it that Britney's book is a kind of like one of the first that you read?
I do. I don't read probably as much as I used to. Just
Mm-hmm.
life, is a little bit more busy, or, I definitely read a lot of different genres of books, like more like self-improvement stuff, or, you know, autobiography.
Mm-hmm.
I like a whole
Mm-hmm.
variety of books. It doesn't really matter. But fantasy, or the stuff that Brittany writes is really nice too, just to kind of immerse yourself into a whole different world and different realm, and I like that too.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't know if that answers your question, but
Yes. Uh-huh. So, I mean, you have been a reader in general, but probably not so much into romance before this, right? Am I right to say that?
yeah,
I mean, it's
Yeah.
definitely a romance series, and Bettina's made lots of comments on,
Mm-hmm.
you know, the excessive, not
Mm-hmm.
excessive, but the romantic bits, just because there is so much action happening
Mm-hmm.
in the
Mm-hmm.
novels themselves. I feel like, I mean, it's
Mm-hmm.
it's easy to not even look at it like a romance, I guess. And I know that's not Bettina's thing. I like romance. I read a lot of romance. I read a lot of smut. I read all that stuff. It's my faves. But I've tried to incorporate a little bit of that into my writing. But it's very
I wouldn't say
it can.
it's definitely not
Mm-hmm.
romantic. Like, it's definitely, I feel like it's more action focused, but it has a good amount of romance, which I like that too. But
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I told you it's a really hard genre to pin down. Like I said, people
Uh-huh.
read it and they love it and leave their 5-star reviews, or people open it up thinking it's going to be, you go into romance sci-fi and it's like the naked aliens on the covers. So
Mm-hmm.
they go into that category and think that's what they're getting into, and it's definitely not. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so I've definitely just confused a lot of readers. I think they'll open it up and realize it's not a big romance or heavily smut novel, which some people get into
Mm-hmm.
thinking it is. I know I pick up romances all the time thinking, it's
Mm-hmm.
going to have this great plot and it has great
Mm-hmm.
reviews, and it's like a erotica, I guess, when you're reading it. When you go into the
Mm-hmm.
categories I'm in, and my books are not that. So it's a very mixed category and genre. You can definitely read these books as a guy, a girl at any age,
Mm-hmm.
and not particularly like romantic novels. And I think enjoy these books if you're into,
Mm-hmm.
stronger characters, main characters,
Mm-hmm.
action, gore, fantastical abilities, twists and turns and stuff like that. And if you're a romance reader, it does have a really good romantic subplot to it. Is I mean, definitely the foundation of the novels themselves is family and partners and trust and love. Um, so yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's a very nice mix.
Yeah, so we have Daniela saying that her husband reads your book. Hello, hello. Thank you for watching. So I'm glad that you have. I think you have a wide range of audience over here who like even men reading your book. So it's interesting at this point to ask you like what are the other feedback that you have received from your
I've
readers so far.
actually gotten like really mixed reviews on Goodreads, and I've like
Mhm.
noticed a lot of the poor reviews, the 1 stars and 2 stars, they're definitely, I have a couple and they're just from people that didn't finish the novels, and they're all from women. Most of my good
Mhm.
reviews are from men, which is interesting. And then it's so funny because they'll always comment in their review that there was too much romance for them, or that like the erotic scenes weirded them out,
Yeah.
because men don't just sit there reading romance, but they like the
Yeah.
book. So it's just so funny to me that they pick up a book that's, says a sci-fi romance, and that's what it is, but it does draw in a very large male audience, which is really cool.
Mhm.
And that wasn't what I was expecting at all when I wrote the novels. So
Mhm.
Um, it's interesting when I, especially on Goodreads, I think it's where I have like
Mhm.
just so many mixed reviews. And like I said, people love it and write me these really long, amazing 5-star reviews. And then at the same time, I have
Mhm.
people that can't do it.
Right. And I think over here we can see as well, like, we have men reviewing your books as well. So, tell us a little bit about where do you find the right audience for your books? Like, where do you market your book, or probably um, where do you actually find your readers, apart from those that you know? Those that you don't know. So, have you heard from them? What are the feedback that you have received from them so far? Where do you
Uh,
also
I don't
promote market?
know where a lot of my readers come from, actually. I
Uh-huh.
tried, I ran some ads and stuff like that, and I've done a couple of like email promotions. But other than that, like I said, I'm not. My husband's coworker, she's younger, and we were talking.
Uh-huh.
She was talking to her mother, and her mother was reading my books. So, Crystal was like, "Oh, I'm pretty sure that's my boss's wife," because she saw the name and, figured out that I was the author that her mom was reading. And her mom didn't believe that. So I ended up signing a bunch of books. I've also had people randomly find me on Facebook, a couple, and Instagram, and just add me wanting to know stuff about the next novels, or if they can beta read, which like
Uh-huh.
Sandy, it was one of the first people. She read the first book before I even finished the second, and she lives on the
Mhm.
East Coast, and she is just the sweetest like friend I've made, who was just a random fan who found my Facebook, and we
Hmm.
talk. I mean, I feel like we talk every day. We probably talk like 2 or 3 times a week, but we talk a lot about things other than book stuff. But she's also my go-to person when I'm writing a book. I kind of just send her every chapter as I write them now, because her excitement's really exciting for me. And I have a couple of people
Mhm.
on social media that have found me that way. I mean, as far as
Mhm.
um, this promotion, we did an email promotion this week, and the amount of attention that we've gotten and the books that were sold has been, mind blowing. It's been really cool to see me hit like the number one spot in, science fiction romance and time travel romance. Um, and yeah, just getting all that attention from Amazon itself, and then getting new readers and
Awesome.
new people that are excited.
Awesome. Right. And we have Addy over here saying that, that is funny and men are. How can reviewers get away with that? So, yeah, and I think probably people, since it's not something, it's not a book that can fit into one genre. I think people will come with different expectations. Am I right to say that? And therefore, some
Yeah.
entertained, and some are left confused, and some are,
I mean, thankfully,
so.
like my reviews aren't terrible. I have an okay rating on Amazon and Goodreads so far, so I do confuse, some people for sure that
Mhm.
go in, like I said, thinking it's a science fiction romance, and it's not. Aliens that are there for breeding harems or whatever's on that category. If you just look at the covers, and mine's not that at all. And
Mhm.
it's
Mhm.
not for, very sensitive people. There's a lot of
Mhm.
like triggers in almost every
Mhm.
novel.
Mhm.
And it's definitely for more open-minded people, I think. So there's just a lot
Mhm.
going on, a lot of different characters, a lot of traumas that we discuss. I really think it's critical to bring awareness to different traumas that people experience, and how the different types of characters in the series would deal with those situations, and how that would affect them
Mhm.
throughout the series itself. So, and that's been one of my like main goals in writing, is to give
Mhm.
each character a very traumatic, not each character. There's a lot of traumatic stuff that happens in the book, but a lot of traumatic stuff happens to each character, and then watching how they handle that and how that changes them as a person. I think the psychology of all that's been really fun to write about. But yeah, definitely mixed genre.
Bettina, I mean, she mentioned about characters going through different situations, and they growing, in each book, right? So, is there any particular character that you really like, and any particular transformation in a character that has, kind of like gotten your attention?
Definitely Lila. She's like the main character in the third book, the last story, and she's hands down my favorite. I don't know. I just love that she's just a really strong woman, and just knows what she wants and knows how to get it, and doesn't let anybody like keep her down. And she's just. I love Lila. She's my favorite. Like I like a lot.
I like Lila too.
Definitely, Lila's my favorite. Like I don't know.
I wrote a whole book on Lila.
Incredibly strong woman, and
and we have a question over here from Eddie, and so the question goes: where do you get the experience for the characters, and are they based on the people that you know?
Hi, Eddie. No, I actually don't base the characters off anybody I know. A lot of people ask if I write Siren after myself, who's our main character, and I definitely not, for sure. I mean, she's a lot braver than I could ever be, and way cooler. I don't, like I said, get my characters from any of my friends or people I know. I think I just get it more off the psychology of people is what I look into. So I base my characters more off like, oh, if this horrible thing happened to this character, how's it going to affect them? And I like playing with that and creating character arcs off that. And I don't have any like mannerisms in my characters that I see in my friends, I don't think. Or, I mean, any of my characters remind you of our friends?
And so do you live vicariously through them?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I pretty much live with them a lot of the time because I write so much. So like, I mean, I don't know if I like live through them per se, but I think I like spending time with them. It'd be really cool to like actually go to the house or meet, the characters themselves. But yeah, I don't think they're an extension of me. I feel like half the time, like they're so different than anything I could ever do. And I'm not even sure where they come from, but they're really cool. They're really neat people. They could be an alter ego. Maybe if I wanted to be as cool as Siren one day and get into really bloody battles and oh my, and have all that drama in my life. So.
Awesome. Right. So, I mean, it's interesting that you mentioned about psychology, human psychology, and how people think, and things like that. So, before you start writing, you started writing last year. So before that, you actually watch a lot of movies, or do you, read a lot of books to the extent that you have that imagination in your head, and therefore now you're writing it. Is it easy? Is it easier because of that?
I think so. I definitely read a lot of books. I can go through a novel about every day or two. So.
I think probably he has, copied this. I guess, is it from your book?
See the whole comment.
It's like a long, I think is this part of your book? Is it from your book?
No, but it's a really cool quote. I'm trying to think of who says that.
Right. So yeah, so I think with that, I mean, like we have a lot of people reading your book, and as you mentioned, I think one book is very much related to the other book, and Bettina, so are you actually looking forward to the next books Brittany has to, come up with, and are you excited? What are you probably, what are you expecting the characters? What would happen to them? Do you have some sort of like imagination? Um, you know,
I'm just
also,
really
yeah, he says,
interested in um, the next book. We kind of talked about maybe what it might be. So
uh-huh.
I'm really excited to see where that leads. Just like, I don't know. I think the next book will clear a lot of things up if you have like questions or whatnot. So
I'm
I'm
sure
really
everyone has lots of questions.
sometimes like when you're reading, you're like, what? Wait, what about this? What about that? And like, but it does get cleared up. It's just later on. You just have to, I think, be patient and just just keep reading the next book and then you'll get it. So yes. Great.
So, do you have any question to ask Brittany over here, Bettina? I mean,
I mean, I talk
anything.
to Bettina all the time. She's been really awesome as far as being like my number one reader goes. Like I said, it's really great because she has just such strong opinions, like how much she hates Rogue or, didn't like all these sex scenes, whatever's going on. So I mean, I love her opinions and she never asks me to change anything, I guess. So
Mm-hmm.
that's nice. She just is always in it for the read. Yeah, and then we have the third book, and I put 4 books out, but one's a sub novel. But we do have the third book coming out of Time, War, and Death on Thursday, on the 30th. I'm really excited. It
Okay.
is by far the best book so far. I love it.
Uh-huh. Fantastic, fantastic. And I think it is also great having Bettina as your beta reader. I mean, one of your beta readers to just sift through everything that you have written and give you a quick feedback before you send it to your editor. Before they can work on it. I think that would give you some really valuable insights. Apart from Bettina, I guess you also have several other people that you actually send the raw version of the book to be read and for them to tell you what they're thinking about, right? So,
Oh yeah,
has it made your publishing journey easier? Let's
so
see.
much easier. It's been so
Mm-hmm.
much nicer. I have 5 people, including Bettina, who 3 of them read the book as I'm writing it, which is so great. And then I have 5 people that always read it before I publish them, and it helps me just kind of figure out what people are super confused on, or mostly just plot holes and stuff like that. I can kind of go through before publishing and
Mm-hmm.
clear a couple of things up. Being the writer I am, where everything's pretty twisty, I don't want to
Mm-hmm.
clear everything up all the time. I do leave things not vague. I'm pretty I word things really well in the books. It's just it sounds
Mm-hmm.
riddly. I think when it's not, it like sounds like a riddle when it's not a riddle. I think people look at it as like, oh, she's talking really pretty, or I don't. They just aren't. Not that they're not paying enough attention. It just doesn't make any sense until you get to
Mm-hmm.
the next part.
Right. So, do you have anything to tell your readers out there? I mean, since we are live right now, and people will be able to watch this later on, once this interview is over, they will be able to watch the replay. So, do you have anything to tell your readers out there?
Yeah, thank you guys so much for reading. This has been a crazy experience, especially the past few days where so many people are reading my novel. It's been super cool. I mean, I used to write short stories and poems and get really excited if 2 people read my work. So to know that
Mm-hmm.
there's thousands of people right now reading these books is, I mean, more than I could have ever asked for. It's just so fun to share the characters with everyone, and honestly for me to have some other people to talk to about it. It's really neat. I feel like I'm a reader myself a lot of times when I'm chatting about
Okay.
Siren and Adrian and Rogue and Kane and Lila and all that business. So it's fun. And thank you so much. It's more supportive, I think, just knowing that everyone's reading it, than money and all of that could ever be. So.
Awesome. Right. So I think we are nearing the end of the show. And Bettina, do you have anything to say to Brittany or the readers out there? One last word about Brittany's book.
So all the readers, you guys are awesome, and you're definitely in for a treat with this next book. I know that for a fact. I'm super excited for you guys to read it, and definitely to Brittany, I am insanely proud of you. And yeah, I can't wait to see where this takes you. I hope they make a movie.
Awesome.
I want a movie.
Fantastic. Right. So all the best to you, Brittany. I know your book is coming up very soon, and I hope that readers will also be able to receive the book well, and that it will also sell well on Amazon. It will be another best-selling book on Amazon. And thank you so much to the two of you for joining today to talk about your experience. It's really amazing. I mean, it's always good to have the readers joining us today. And for that, Bettina, thank you so much for joining and sharing your experience. So thank you so much. And maybe till we meet again in probably some of the episodes, I wish you all the best, Brittany, and also Bettina. Stay safe, guys, and hopefully we will meet soon again.
Thank you so much. This was so fun. It was cool to meet you. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, and also the interview is going to be available for replay, like probably immediately after this is over. So it's going to be on Facebook. I will also be putting this up on Instagram and also YouTube. So yeah, probably you will be getting more exposure from this. And thank you so much for joining, and see you guys soon.
Yay! Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye bye.